Alright, HS family. Time for another fun Blitz tournament. This time we're playing the Alekhine Defense. And, well, let me go ahead and copy paste this just because I want to take a look and see which variation I'm going to be playing. As white, I pretty much have it down already. But for black, I need to take a look and see. I forget in these variations which one is better. So it looks like we're starting off in this one, this line of oh, knight to f3. Interesting. Oh, well, I guess this is going to change things up for me because I typically do not play knight f3 here. I usually play pawn to c4. So knight f3, it's going to make it's black to move, but I think I'll probably play what are the variations here? And what's the best ones? Bishop g4 looks like a great way to play. Bishop g4. And what's the idea? Typically, you'll probably take and just put pressure on d4 here. And it looks like it's got a good ratio here for black. Let's see. Poplar continuations. Yeah. Let's go back one move. So this is the, if bishop g4, is there any other ones that are doing particularly well? So the g6 I like, and you know what, since I do play a lot of fianchettos, I'm probably just going to go with that, guys. The fianchetto lines is what I feel most comfortable with, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at that today. g6, and then try to hit the center with c5, and yeah, just go for it. Let's see, how much time do we have left until we get started? 37 seconds. All right, welcome to the stream, guys. Again, we're playing the Alekhine Defense. As white, I'm going to be playing knight f3, c4, basically just trying to play for a strong center and push back your opponent. There's not too much theory that I want to go into this one with because it's just a good game. And for black, I'm going to be playing the g6 variations and almost kind of convert this to looking like a perk or a modern. Basically, try to tear up white's center here with trying to attack the d4 pawn, which is very common in these kind of games. So, yep, here we go, guys. Let's see. Do I have anybody strong? I have a 2285, a women's international master. And I'm going to go ahead and just play g6 and not berserk this time as I want to, well, try to win the game. So knight, pawn c4, this is probably what I'm going to be playing here mostly. Bishop g7, bishop g4 I like here too. And I think c takes d6 is going to be the move I'm going to be playing a lot. And let's go pawn to e5 here. I really like this move because if they push d5, then we can go f5 and get a really strong game. Knight c6 makes sense. We're putting pressure on d4 here still. Pawn takes here. I think this is very good for me. Now they have I've won their center here. So let's go knight to d4 here. I mean, yeah, I don't see why this would be bad. The d4 square is definitely my square now. And yeah, I just control the center here. I believe black's just already better now. Let's see here. We'll go pawn to h6 real quick. I wanted to stop any kind of bishop g5 ideas. And now pawn takes. Again, happy with this. Bishop to e6. A little bit pressure here on the pawn. And let's go queen to c7 here. I would have liked queen to d7, but if I had gone queen to d7, then they had knight c5 ideas. Okay, let's go king h7 here. And knight to d7, maybe knight e5 or knight c5 here. I'll play b6. Oh, I guess I'm going to go knight c5 here first. I was planning on playing b6 first so that if they do trade, I could have taken back with the pawn, making this guy a good piece. Unfortunately, that was not in the cards. But I can play pawn b5 and start trying to chip away at this. Let's do it. Pawn to b5. Trying to chip away at this. Now we have a isolated / pass pawn here. Let's go queen to a5 here. There's no need to get crazy with trades just yet. Bishop to f5. Looking for some trades. Knight e4 can get played. Let's go ahead and play rook to e8. Trades. The isolated pawn is a bit weak here. Bishop to a6. The bishop has to be rerouted. Maybe even... No, you know what? I will not play pawn f5 here. Because as you can see, this is becoming weak already. With that being said, do I play f5 now? I think I do. Pawn to f5 here. Not a move I really wanted to play, but because it's off the diagonal now, a little bit of pressure. I think the trades here are very good for me too. Oh, and moving the knight, they have to be careful as e1 is a bit weak here too. So let's go rook e7. And simple chess. Let's just try and double up the rooks. Have to be very careful. Okay, so they played there. And let's go king to h8 here. I don't want any knight f6 checks to happen anytime soon. Okay, queen c7. Bishop takes. Let's just remove the defender. Rook takes, rook takes. Queen to c6 check here. And the hope is to try to make some trades. Let's go queen to c2. The idea is to play d3 here. I don't think trading queens would be good, as the king would then have gotten closer to it. And g5 here maybe. Or just go pawn. Yeah, I think, oof. You have to be a little careful. Let's go king h7. If knight to d... Oh, queen to d3 here is really good for them. Because now you see that it has been blockaded. Maybe we can create some kind of weakness over here. Bishop f6. The endgame here is not amazing here for me because they have the knight. We might end up just taking a draw here unless she can find something better to play. Let's go bishop f6. If she takes on d4, I think I might be able to win the h3 pawn. No. Let's go king over to e5. If b4, king over to d5 here. I'm down. Oh, a5 here. I think that was a mistake because of that. So king f4. Pawn takes. It's forced. Whoa, I think she did really well there. Let's go king takes. G4, and I think I'm just losing this position. Oh my gosh, good game by her. So G3, king check. Queen check, king over. I know that there are some draw variations with the king here, but I don't think we are actually in them right now. Let's go B3, B2 ideas maybe. Okay, B2. And make a... Oh my gosh, look at this girl. She's on fire. Notice that when I make the queen, it's queen check and then mate. Oof, very nice game. I am very impressed. All right, on to the next one. Here we go. Let's go ahead and berserk. We got an 1800 this time. And like I said, I'm just going to be playing pretty simple here with the pawn to c4 ideas and try to attack the knight. All right, here we go. Always something to learn in these games. I'm going to go ahead and play knight takes in this variation. I assume they'll probably play knight to d7 or something. Oh, interesting. All right, let's play pawn c4. Just attack the knight. Knight to c3. c5 is a good move here. Bishop to d3. No, let's play bishop e3. I don't know if I can get away with that. Oh, perfect. Let's take. I very much like this position here. I have a strong center. Probably knight to d7 or knight c6 will get played now. Oh, interesting. We'll just castle here. This helps undouble my pawns. And pawn to f4 here. This is a move I like. If they take, pawn takes. I'm really liking this position. Really good attacking pawn structure. Queen f3, free tempo. And I assume they'll make the mistake rook b8 here because of knight c6. And this wins at least the exchange here. Oh, does it not? Knight takes. Maybe it just wins me a pawn. Takes. And now I'm threatening the bishop. But knight takes, and knight check here, I think is good. Bishop takes on g2 is the only move I can see here that might be some trouble. But I think I take and check here on f6, which might be good for me. Excuse me. Okay, here we go, guys. What is going on here? All right, perfect. Rook takes on f3. We have the bishop pair here, which is also very nice. Assuming something like knight to g4 is going to get played. Just looking for some trades, and we're going to try and put pressure on this backwards pawn over here, the e1 pawn. So they did what I thought, knight g4, but that's why my rook came here. He was ready to attack on e6. h3 is coming into the future now. Oh, interesting. I guess maybe there were... Yeah. Okay, let's play bishop. Ooh, do I take on e6 here or not? Yeah, we'll just take on e6 here. And after they take on d4, let's not take back. We'll play rook e7, and bishop takes on c3, hopefully, in these variations. And most likely something like rook f7 gets played. We just take on a7 here, right? I don't see why this is good for them. Ideas are like rook to g3 here are also good. Oop, this is just a blunder though. Rook takes on g7 check. And then bishop takes. Rook takes on h7, threatening the rook and also the knight. Let's play... Oof, this is kind of hard here. It's kind of because we're low on time. Pawn to g4. I really want to kick this knight. Hopefully we'll have a good square for us to run to next. Knight to e3. Let's go rook check. I think I just won the exchange here because of bishop f6 check and then takes. Oh, interesting. They didn't take the knight. I mean, they didn't take the bishop here. So let's play g5 and defend. King g2. Rook just takes. He was going for a cheapo. Luckily, I'm used to cheapos, so I'm not too worried about that. Rook e5 here. Pawn just takes, and this should be an easy win for me now. e6. e7. Queen check, and then we'll have a mate here in like 1 or 2 moves. 1. Okay, there we go. Not too bad. We lost our first game, but we're back in it. We won with the Berserk. Got a very nice win in that one. Basically, at least for me, that was just about pawn structure and getting a very good attacking position there. All right. Here we go, guys. And we already have, how many players in this tournament? Already 136. Let's see if we can get to the top 3 at least. Some water. And, of course, a little bit of coffee. All right, we got a 2200 Subi Berserk. Yeah, we'll go ahead and Berserk here. We got white. Let's just go for it. Taking their time here. See what variation they're thinking. We'll play pawn c4 here. This is the one I'm pretty much used to. We'll just play pawn takes here. E takes, I think, is supposed to be the best variation here. And here we'll bring the knight up, bishop out, and just get ready to castle. Funny enough, when you play this, you actually are supposed to develop your queen side first before castling right away. So here we go, bishop e2. Let's castle. The pawn structure here is so annoying. Rook to c1 with the ideas of b3. They typically play d5 in a lot of these variations. So b3, and let's go for it. Pawn to d5. The pawn structure is symmetrical here, so the only thing that we really have going for us is our good piece play. Let's go rook e1. a4, a5 is going to be in the future for us, just trying to gain some squares. a4, a5. Awesome. And then we'll try to play for c5. Probably h3 here. Takes away the knight to g4 square. Oh, is f4 just winning a piece here? Yes, I think f4 is just winning a piece here. The knight's literally trapped. Well, that worked out. The bishop's unprotected, but I don't think there's any good square for the knight to move to where we're not going to just be able to take back with the bishop here so we don't lose the piece. It doesn't happen too often, but yeah, the knights do get trapped in the center here. Let's see. I assume they're going to play to take on c4 here. So I'm going to go ahead and play bishop takes on c4 pre-move here. I think that should be good enough. Let's see here. Well, they got to make a decision here unless they're going to resign. Nope. So they went ahead and did that. So pawn takes here. Knight back to f3. Of course, I don't want this bishop to be putting out our h2 pawn all day. And then we'll probably just play bishop d3 here, looking for some more trades. Because the more trades, the better here. Oh, interesting. Knight to f5. Bishop back to f2. Knight takes e5 is also a good move here. Maybe I should have added that in. Enter Zamoa, as this did attack the queen. Yeah, very nice move here. Let's go rook over to a1. Knight to e3 here. And now I need to make a decision. Oh, interesting. Okay, let's go bishop to d3. Trades I'm not too worried about here. Let's go rook takes. Queen to c2, maybe? No, I don't like that move as much. Let's go g3 here. Knight e3 is a bit annoying here. Okay. Queen to d2. Is there any threats with this move? Let's find out. Queen d2 puts pressure on the knight, and we're threatening pawn takes here also. If knight takes on c4, I have queen takes on f4 here. Ugh. These are complications I really did not want to go into. Is pawn takes the move? No, we'll just go queen takes here. Ah, watch out for the time, watch out for the time. The knight's a little bit weak here. Rook e1. Bishop takes. Queen f1. All right, bishop takes here. Queen to f1. And if they take, that's okay because this guy's hanging here too. But rook takes c3 is their best bet here. Rook takes on c3 is their best bet. Pawn takes, rook over to e1. Back rank checkmate threat. King to f8, king to f2. Need to look for some trades now. Okay, let's go rook c1. Pawn to c5 here. Time again is the biggest issue. Rook takes on c5, attacking the pawn. I think they're just losing the pawn now. They'll probably add in a check here just because they don't know what to do. And let's pawn take, rook takes. Rook over to a6 here. Rook to a7. Knight to g5 for a double threat over here. Knight e6 check. Knight takes check. Knight check. Rook takes on h7 here, and I'm losing on time. Dang it. Ugh, good game. Dang it. I was doing very well there, but the time just got away from me. Yeah. My typical rule is do not berserk, give half the time for double the points unless you're a few hundred rating points above. But nah, it's okay. Let's go to berserk. Again, like I said, I'm just playing the g6 lines here. Ooh, awesome. We'll play the e takes. No, we'll play c takes. I'm going to keep to what I said. We're going to be playing the c takes d6 variations here. Knight c6, e5, a nice move here, controlling the center. I think did they just drop a piece? No, that was my bet chest there. Knight to e5 here. If they take, they just take back. Knight takes c4. They did drop this pawn though. Knight takes on e3. Now a bad pawn structure. e3 is weak. Let's go bishop h6, attacking the pawn. Is there a good way to defend it? I don't think so. I think I can only see either knight to d5 or... Okay. Bishop takes, attacking the rook. Then bishop to f5, attacking the queen. I think I'm very happy with the endgame here. a6 here, attacking the queen again. Bishop c5, attacking the queen again. And let's go rook to c8 this time. Bishop e3 threat. Perfect. This wins a piece now. The knight's just hanging. Queen takes. If they don't want to trade, that's quite okay. So queen just takes. Pawn takes. The knight's hanging here, so taking on d6 would be bad. And that's game for us. There we go. On to the next one. There's still plenty of time in this tournament, so even though I do have a few losses at the beginning, I'm not too worried. I have a few wins, so... A few losses, a few wins. It seems about even to me. And, oh, with that win, we're actually up on the board. We're on we're on the first page. All right, let's go ahead and berserk. Here we go, guys. Let's see how black chooses here. I play the knight takes on e5 variations. I'm waiting for the knight to d7 to get played, but alas, they have not played it just yet. Bishop to e3 here, trying to protect against the c5 idea. We'll play knight c3. If they do want to take and trade queens here, I'm quite okay with, as the pawn takes here is strong. And now knight to b5 move here I like quite a bit, because knight takes on c7 is a good check here. And also, I guess I could just take the pawn. So knight tick, and then we'll take the knight here, as this rook is just trapped here, and obviously the rook is stopping this king from moving over to win it. And if they don't... Oh, yeah, I was going to say, they should play knight to a6 here. Pawn to c5, as this, I think, lets us get our knight out. Because now we'll trade for the knight, and then hopefully play the knight to c7 here. So this works out perfectly. Bishop takes on a6, and then the knight escapes on c7. Free tempo on the bishop. And then the knight can jump to b5 here. Pawn takes. Castles over here. And knight to b5 is going to come up in the future here. Okay. We'll play the rook over to c1 here first. If the king goes to d7, we just bother them with rook f to d1. And that's just going to be an easy win right over here. Oh, man. Don't ask me how we did it. I just did it. It was hard. All right, rook f to d1. Probably rook to g8 will get played for a little pressure up on the g-pawn. And I'll probably just play rook to d2. As a good rule of thumb, we always want to try to put our pieces... Oh, this is nice, because this forces the trade of the rooks here. If the rook checks or moves anywhere else, then we have rook c7 check, winning the bishop. Okay, knight a7 looks good here. A double attack. I mean, they just put themselves into a pin, so it's rare that putting yourself into a pin is just going to be the best thing for you. Alrighty. Okay, knight takes in check. We're not even going to give away a pawn here. Why would we give away a pawn? Okay, let's go rook to d7 check. Rook to c4 here. Knight e7 check ideas are in the air. We're attacking this pawn. Knight e7 check. The king goes there, I guess. Very close to checkmating ideas. Rook to g4 check. Okay. Let's go e4. If f4, we just play pawn to e5. More trades here, the better. Rook c6 check. Knight g6 check. And then king e4 here. Is this mate? Awesome. Of course, you could take the rook there, but hey, mates are a little bit better. Awesome. We are now in third place. 3 wins, 2 losses, but third place. And lucky for us, our first place opponent just lost a game here. Let's berserk and get ready for our g6 variation in the Alekhine's defense. All right, what's up? What's up, Doc? Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. Oh, I go first here. Here we go, g6, pawn c4, the most popular move here. If they do end up playing pawn c5, our knight simply just jumps back. Bishop to g7, bishop to g4. Lots of great moves to play in this game. Knight c6, I like this move quite a bit. And bishop g4 is getting played. It's amazing how simple yet annoying these moves can be here for white. Bishop g4 threatens the simple bishop takes on f3 here as the c4 pawn becomes weak. So let's just do that. Let's do that. Let's take on f3. And then knight takes on c4. That or they have to play pawn takes. But here we just win a pawn either way. Pawn takes on e5 here. Things are not going the way that they planned. And I'll go ahead and pre-move knight takes back here, as this would threaten to take on c4. The knight's unprotected here too. Oh, that's an interesting move. Pawn takes, but they lose now another piece, if not the exchange here. Bishop takes in check. And bishop takes over here. I don't believe the attack's going to be that good. Rook, queen takes in check. And this gives me time to just, again, win another piece. Yeah, that's it for them. Oof. That one did not work out well. The Alekhine is such a tricky variation. And this time I'm not going to berserk because I'm going to respect the rating here. Knight takes on e5. Let's go bishop to c4. I think this bishop f5 is actually one of the main moves here. Let's castle. We'll play the bishop back to b3 with the idea of c4 and then knight to c3 here. So c4. Threatening to take on d5. And here we'll just bring the knight back to f3. I don't want to trade, as I think that in this kind of position the pieces are all mixed up and bojangled, so I don't think there's any need to do that. If they castle queenside, the game's going to go crazy because they can go for the queenside. Yeah, you can see here they're already preparing it. G5 ideas, and this is going to be fun. Here we go. Let's go pawn to c5 first. Bishop f4 will probably get played, and then we're going to go knight to e5 here. Try and open up this position since the king is still in the center. Pawn takes. Bishop takes. Interesting. We'll go rook takes. Knight takes. And they have to take back with the... Oh, so this is why they had to take back the other way, because of the bishop check there. Let's go b4 here. Now we just have a good game on our hands with this pawn structure much better for us. Bishop to b3. Probably a5 will get played. Although if a5... Actually, well, strangely enough, we just play b5 here. And if a4, bishop c2, I don't think these trades are bad for me at all. We have a good passed pawn here. The king is very weak. Queen to d4. With pawn to f4 coming into the future. Very nice. Let's go queen to e3 here. They had a little pseudo threat of attacking the pawn on b5 here, but I'm not too worried about that. And then rook over to b1. If queen takes g5, rook g6 is a little bit annoying. You can snack a pawn there, but... Alright, here we go. Pawn c6. This was the idea. Because they've done a good job by creating some defense over here, we have a passed pawn, so Let's push it. Pass pawns must be pushed. And this rook's out of play here, so should we just go for it? Let's go queen b6. I assume they're not going to want to trade here. And then we have c7 here on our hands. h4. We're just trying to keep the rook out of the game. This is not a big deal to me, at least. c7 with the idea of rook over to b8. King takes. And, rook over to a4, rook takes. Rook takes. Let's play the rook back to a7 here. And then let's push another pass pawn here. Pawn. And this should just be winning. Pawn. Rook over. Pawn. And with rook b8 coming now, there's just no good move here. The extra pass pawn just wins here. Very nice. Very nice. Rook b8, and we can make a queen here. Let's go rook to c3. With the idea, if they do push the pawn, we can just take in check. So perfect. Rook just takes on c8, snacks a rook. And then rook takes on d3 here. So they can prolong the game if they want to. My king is close enough to stop the pawn here too. Rook just takes. And d2, we have rook check there. Very nice conversion, if I do say so myself. Yeah. I think they had better tries in that position, but I think they just made one or two inaccuracies, which was moving up the king in that kind of position. Uh-oh, we have a 2400 here, and he is doing well. He's got a good commanding score with a +4. But the +4 against me, so let's keep going. Up, and looks like the Sophia here is still... Oh, and we're playing her again. We got black. Let's play g6, and again, we're not going to berserk against her. We respect her too much. All right, bishop g7. Pawn takes. Knight c6. Let's go e5. I think we did this last time against her. Funny enough. Pawn just takes. I don't think this is bad. Knight to d7, putting pressure on the pawn. If pawn to b4, I think we just play e4 there. Let's go queen e7 here. The queen to d6 is definitely a move here, although I don't think it's that bad. Oh, nice move here. Knight to d5. And again, she's just playing really good chess here. Let's go pawn to e4 here. Not really a good double attack, but it is a move nonetheless. Let's go... Is it knight e5 here is the move? We're putting pressure on this guy over here. Taking on d4 didn't do anything earlier. Let's see what she plays. Pawn takes is what I was hoping for. And then... Do I play queen e7 here or knight to d3? Let's go... Oh, man. Let's go bishop to f5 here. This is a little scary. Or just keep it simple with f5. Let's go f5 here. If she wants to do this, then she's more than welcome to. I think this pawn structure is quite okay for me. Okay. Well, she's good with one-move threats, I guess. Rook to d4, attacking the b4 pawn. Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's go. Is it rook takes b4? No. We'll go knight to d3 here. She wants to take. I think this should be okay with me. The bishop pair looks pretty sweet. a5 looks decent enough for me. Oh, interesting. Again, very nice moves here for her. Rook over to c4. Okay, there. Rook takes. Okay, rook takes. And then if she takes on d3, have bishop a6 at the end here. So this is a very good position for me. Here we go, bishop a6 now. Soon rook e7 will get played. Nope, not just yet. Let's play h6 here. Let's question the bishop where she wants to put it. And rook to d8 makes sense. Okay. Rook to d5. Bishop's looking good over here. Okay. Let's go g5. G4 ideas. We want to try win the D2 square and push this pawn forward. Okay, G4. I assume knight to D2 is going to get played now. Okay. Bishop F8, a little pressure on the pawn. It would be nice. Oh, King F7. Bishop takes on A3 is again a threat. Okay, let's take the pawn. I don't see why not. If you don't see why not, you should do it. Oh, very interesting. Bishop to D6 here. Rook takes on D6. I don't think these checks are good. And now the threat is to check or play Rook C2 to get the pawn across the board. I think my king just seeks refuge on H5 from all the checks. Rook C2. Where's this knight going? So king to G6. Rook takes on F2. Pawn to F4. I'm assuming there's going to be some checks here. So king G5. And then king there. Whoa! Would have got checkmated there. So what's the move here? King G5. Knight check, but then they keep going backwards. No, I think we just go king G5 here. Rook F5 check. And then king over. This is really crazy position. King H4. G3 checking ideas. And pawn to D2 here. Whoa. Pawn check. Pawn up. Ah, pawn takes check. King pawn up. Winning, but be careful with the time. Be careful with the time. I'm up an extra piece here. King takes H5 is good. All right, they have to do that. Rook takes there. King takes. Rook check. King there. Bishop over to D3. Okay, king to G5. Bishop to F5. Rook to C1, Rook C2. And this is the right color for the pawn, so that's nice. Of course, they're not going to trade here. H4. Bishop E4 idea. H3 is nice. H4 check. Pawn to H3. Rook takes G2. Check. And then rook to F2 here. Pawn check here is winning. King over here. Bishop check here wins now. Pawn check. Queen. Queen E4. And again, I'm getting flagged. Ugh. And of course, I made the only blunder that loses. Dang it. Ah, time. Good game. Man, she is a strong player. Oh, and that's keeping me out from that first place, which I really, really want. Man, conversion's just taking a little too long for me. Good game, good game. Okay, on to the next one. Here we go. Let's berserk. G6. All right, C4. Again, the most popular move here getting played. Bishop to G7. Let's just get ready to fianchetto. Pawn takes, pawn takes. Bishop G7. Awesome. Let's put pressure on D4. Remember, Bishop G4, Knight C6. This makes the D4 square weak. All right, here we go. We'll play Bishop G4 just to get that in real quick. Knight to C6 here. It's not so simple to play D5. Bishop takes B2 ideas. Takes, and I'd like to take on D4 here. You know what? We're going to go ahead and take. I did realize that B2 is hanging at the end of this variation because B7 is hanging here. Oh, yeah, I was like, I guess they could just play that. Well, let's just castle. This is also not so bad for me, too, just because at least we have won a center pawn for a wing pawn. So I don't think this is bad at all. Go ahead and pre-move. Bishop takes now. Okay, let's go knight e6, knight to c5 idea. I'd like to put pressure on this queen, but both pawns are hanging. Pawn takes here. Oh, knight to d5 is a nice move here, as it threatens knight takes on e7 and also over here. Rook b8. I assume the queen will go to d5. Knight c5, e6 idea. Also taking this guy over here. e6, and this threatens to win a piece. If they play queen takes, and then bishop takes knight, wins the bishop over here. Very nice, very nice. Yes, they win the pawn, but I win a piece. We'll call it even. How about that? Call it even. All right. Bishop takes on c3. Next one up. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Oh, man. Okay. Oof, looks like they're not too happy with this arrangement that we made. A pawn for a piece. And here we're going to go ahead and take, just because the pawn structure is so messed up here now. Rook over to c8, threatening knight e4. And then these pawns will just drop, and we keep our pawn structure together here. So, why not? Why not? Oh, interesting. I want to take over here. So knight a4, rook b4. Which I'm not really against all these moves. Actually, and I don't see a good way to defend it. So let's go knight e4. Attacking the rook. Oh, well, they played the wrong move there. They want to make this game last as long as possible, so that was bad. Knight takes c3 for a little cheapo. If they play rook c1, knight e2 check will win it. Typically, you do want to pin, but unfortunately, this was not the time for them. Rook to d7, knight takes, and then we're just going to be pushing our pawn forward here. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to make a queen. Pawn takes. If they want to give us all the pawns, they're more than welcome to. Pawn takes. Rook takes. I can actually checkmate with the rooks now, too. Rook c3 check. Pawn to b3. Rook c2 check. Rook to d8 check. And then b2, make a queen. Going for the cheapo. Rook takes. Queen. And they go ahead and resign. I guess they saw that I was going to be winning force there. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. All right, here we go, guys. Oh my gosh. This guy's running away with the tournament. I'm trying to catch up at 30. Hopefully my next game will be better. It really is a golden age of chess. Okay, let's berserk. We got a 2100 here. All right, bishop g4. Pawn takes. Oh, no, wait. I think that is my main line here. So this is actually what I typically play here. Pawn takes c4. I play bishop e2 here. And again, I'm just going to try to take the center here. There's not really hardcore theory. Pawn h3, they're more than welcome to take here, as this will give them a backwards pawn. Bishop to e3. Knight takes. Now we have the backwards pawn to work off. Queen takes. Rook to d1, and knight b5 is coming up here. Perfect. d6 is very, very weak here. How do they defend against this? I don't think there is a good way to defend against this. So they play there. Let's try bishop f4 here. Knight g6, bishop g3. It's very close to taking on d6. So that's really good. I couldn't take on d6 because the rook was going to be discovering against my queen. Dang it. Let's go queen to f3. But we're going to go back and attack this pawn over here. So pawn to b3. And now my pawn structure on the queen side is nice and good. Let's go knight to f5. Putting pressure on d6 pawn yet again. Okay. Bishop takes is interesting, but not really too good. Oh, gosh. I guess queen e3 here. Not a move I really want to play, but I think it was all but forced. D6 is still a weakness, so we're going to try and double up our rooks and put pressure on D6 here. And I can put my knight to D5 now. Let's go knight F5, putting pressure on that pawn yet again. Perfect. They were supposed to play the other rook over to defend. They didn't, though. Knight to E3. Let's go knight to D5 here. A few trades shall be beneficial. Rook over to D4. The idea is to go knight F6, check in some of these variations. Let's double the rooks. Bishop H2 with the idea of F3. Uh-oh. My time's getting low and I'm not able to figure out these positions as fast as I'd like to. Uh-oh. Which has kind of been a theme here. I don't really have too much experience with playing this opening. Alright, knight takes, knight check. Bishop G3. Rook to D2. Okay. Bishop H4. They're going to go bishop F6 check in some ideas. Okay, knight F4. Knight back. I think I'm playing pawn F4 this time, though. Bishop F2. Oof, this is not looking good for me. Not looking good for the home team. Alright, G3. Knight takes F4. If they take, that's just helping out my pawn structure. So king to G2. Doubling of the rooks. I have rook knight C7 here. King F3. Alright, knight B6. Attacking and hopefully trying to win the pawn here on D5. Which I think it, on D6, which I think it finally falls here. Rook takes D6. Rook over. But time is an issue again. A3. A4. Rook takes D6 maybe now. Oh man. Is the conversion fast enough? That's the question. Rook takes. Rook over. Rook takes. Knight over. Pawn takes. H4. Pawn takes. King F4 if they play G4 check. H5. Now we have a passed pawn. Checks are good for me. Check. Takes. Ah, and time. Dang it. Ugh, unfortunately, I'm getting good positions, but I'm not as comfortable winning them, so I'm not able to convert as much as I'd like to. All right, here we go. Well, we'll play pawn takes and just go into our typical ideas. Pawn to C4 here. Knight C3. You know, for something like Queen E7, which traps the bishop. Bishop E2. Pawn C5 is a nice move. Oh, they didn't play it. This is exactly what I like. Bishop E3, and we're just going to take the center here. We'll play Rook C1 here. If they take, I don't mind. Pawn takes. Just take all the free squares you can. So here we go. D5. Knight takes on E5. Is this a move? Not really. Bishop to D4 here. Or Bishop F4. Let's try Bishop F4, trying to hold on to the knight. I think they should. I don't think they should have played Knight takes D5 here, which would have won the pawn back right away. Rook E1's coming to the... Let's play C5 right away here, as this is going to take away the knight to D6 ideas. And perfect. Pawn to D6 now. Now we're just having a good position. Rook to E1. Bishop to D3 is coming into the future. Bishop to H2 right now. Let's go. Oh, interesting. Knight to F3. Maybe knight to D4 here. Queen to G6 here is one of their ideas. Let's go knight to D4 now. Looking for some trades. And actually, yeah, I was going to say I'd like to do the other way. Let's go knight takes. Bishop G4. Trades are good for me. Okay. Pawn to D7. Passed pawns must be pushed, and this looks like a good one. Rook E8 check, and I think it's going to be a brand new baby bouncing girl. Rook just takes. Oh, bishop h5 was also good there too, I guess. But I think I just make a queen and threaten too many checkmates here. I assume pawn takes will get played. We got a queen now. Okay. Queen e8 check. Queen e5 check. Bishop g3. I really want to get the queen in here, but it's not helping out too much. All right, queen f3 check. Okay. Queen e8 checkmate. Oof. It took me a second to actually realize that I was looking for the mates. I was like, I can't find it. I can't find it. All right, we're in second place. We're not doing too bad. But, man, I'm pretty sure we're not going to be getting first place this time. Well, live and learn, as they say. Here we go, g6. As far as it's going with black, I think I'm doing very well. Although, next time I will experiment with playing e takes d6, which is totally a different game here. Oh, interesting. We'll play bishop g7 here. If they do want to play e6, I'm just going to take. All right, I guess we just castle. And let's go knight to d7. Again, if e6, I'll just play pawn takes. And I think I'm quite okay here. Bishop's unprotected here, so we'll just take that guy. Oh, interesting. They don't want the free piece. Then I shall not give it to him. Knight c5. And the e6 pawn will fall either way. Let's go queen e8. No need to get crazy here and sacrifice. You can if you want to, it's just not needed. Knight takes here, which covers g5, which means queen takes f7 is being played. Knight takes f3 check. Oof, looks like our opponent's just being very nice today. e5, e4. I want to keep this knight in the centaur. Bishop g4, knight to h4 check, so if h3. So here I can win the queen. And I'm lazy. We're just going to take that queen. Bishop takes and check. Bishop f3 check and then takes. And I guess rook just takes here. Queen d7. Once we get the queen in there, it's going to be mates. So and they're ready to throw in the towel. They're just kind of making moves there. 27, not a bad score. I mean, typically I like to try to get to 30s, 40s, which I guess we still have 11 minutes left, so we're going to be getting that. I guess my goal is just to try and hold on to this second place, unfortunately. All right, here we go. Let's berserk. G6. I'm doing really well with the black side. I think so. I think my score with black has been very well. Excuse me. Castles. Typically c4 gets played, and it did this game. Here we go. Knight b6. We'll go to pre-move pawn takes. Nope. Bishop g4. Again, the idea is to take on f3, making the d4 square weak. Knight c6, just like in the last game. Again, taking on f3, then taking on e5. And what's cool here is that if they play pawn to d5, we have the nice move of bishop takes on f3. Oh, interesting. I guess we'll play pawn takes here. Typically, we don't see this move. And now we can see we have lots of pressure on c5 and e5 here. So I might just be winning a pawn here. And they can't, well, I mean, they could try e6 here, but my bishop just takes. Knight takes c5. Looks like it's just holding on to the pawn and attacking the queen. So that looks good to me. I'm assuming something like queen to... Oh, okay, interesting. That way. Uh-huh. Ooh, a nice move here. Okay. Knight e6, a nice tempo move by attacking the bishop. Attacking the bishop here. I think, could they just play queen takes b7 there? I think they could have. Let's go queen c8 here, just protecting the pawn. Threatening pawn to a6 for a little bit of annoyance. Takes. Knight to d4 here is a move. Let's go knight to d4. Knight takes f3, and then knight takes on e5 here. I think it's important that we move this knight and not the other one, because bishop takes on b7 would be a little bit annoying. I guess the queen goes back to d3. But knight takes on f3 just gets played. And then knight takes on e5, so do we snack a few extra pawns here, I think? Knight to d5 will probably get played because the real threat is to go to e7 check. So let's go rook e8. Oof, rook to e1 and then bishop to d6 here. Definitely some annoyance moves. c6 is coming up next. I just need to play this so I can try to get out of this. Queen f5 will be a nice move here to get out the pin. And I think force the queen trade here too, right? Oh, and I win another pawn. Let's go e6 here. b4 still weak. No need to make the trade unless needed. a5 here. Okay, pawn takes. Let's go b5 here and try to make this pawn a weakness that we can attack. Rook over to c8. Rook a4 is coming up next. All right, bishop to f8. c5 is actually not a bad move there either. Rook a6. Oh, a blunder as I could just take on b5 though. But I think we just win the pawn back anyways. Rook takes b4. Okay, did they... Oh, I was going to say, they almost got the knight trapped here too. The knight is trapped, but whether I can win it is another story. c5 with the idea of rook b7, which I think wins the knight now. Rook over. Okay, pawn c4. The knight's still trapped and the pawn is just going to keep getting pushed and pushed and pushed. All right, let's lock in, guys. 14 seconds left again. Low time today. c3. All right. Bishop c5. Rook takes. And here, rook check. Rook over. Rook takes knight on tempo. No knight moves here. Rook takes, but then now there's threats of the check. He saw it, of course. King e7. Okay. Just trying to get out this pin. Rook over. Rook over. Rook over. Rook over. Check, check. Is this a forced draw? Oh, gosh, it is not. Dang it. And time gets me yet again. Dang. Ugh. Good game. Good game. Gotta get better at this pawn structure, man. 6 minutes left, so one more game should clutch it for me as far as getting second place. Because we do have this guy on fire over here. No! And then, of course, that Sovico over here. 24 points over here. Okay, let's go in berserk. All right, knight takes e5. I think this is one of the best ways to play here. And, whoa, that's just terrible. Queen h5 check. Unless this is a gambit line I don't know about, but it looks like it's just losing the exchange. This is don't move the f-pawn tactic. Queen h7 check. Bishop h6. This should just force off some more trades. Queen takes, bishop takes. Pawn c4, knight a3 if they do play the knight to b4. And it's just a very good position here. Bishop f3. Ooh, a little bit of a problem. Let's go castles queenside. They missed knight to d3 check here. Rook over. Here they should play king f7. Let's go b3. And try to double the rooks here now, I guess. Rook e2, then rook over. Rook to d6, pawn c5. I think that's just good, though. c5, they missed it. And they're still going to lose the bishop over here anyways. Oh, well, I guess it matters what they play. Oh, pawn takes here. Rook takes. Let's go g3 here. And let's not mess up this conversion. Come on, Jesse. Knight b4, knight to d3, knight to c5. Here we go. Oh, and I'm in trouble now. g4. Because the knight was trapped. Crazy enough. That's okay. Bishop takes. Oh, I didn't even realize. I'm up an extra piece here. Well, that's definitely helpful. King G2, bishop F3, pawn to H4, king over here. Yeah, this is not going to be too hard to win in this position. And rook E8, now my rook is in. So now once the rook is behind the pawns, these guys are just dropping like flies. Pawn takes, rook check, rook takes, knight check, king over here, and now this knight's trapped just like the previous one. So bishop G4 here, and yeah, this is just dominate. So now rook to E1 and then takes. Awesome. Rook over here now, pawn takes, rook check, and takes, 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 and here we're just gonna make a queen, and then we'll just do our ladder checkmate, and there we go, guys. 30 points. I do have to be careful. There's still 3 minutes left here, so I guess it is technically possible, at least if you start. No, it's going to be almost impossible to get one more game in, at least if my opponent does a little bit of math and they don't want to lose in that short amount of time. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that's cool to know that I can play the Alekhine's defense if I want to. All right, let's berserk. Why not? We'll get this game over with fast. Knight takes on E5, pawn to C4, bishop to E3. This is really to stop the C5 ideas from happening. Knight C3. Here, I just have extra space here, so I'm just very, very happy in these games. And we'll play pawn F4, just in case they do take on E5. I want to be able to take back with the F pawn here. Castles. And here, king to H1. Oh, you know what? I should have played... Excuse me. I should have played the other move, a pawn to D5. Oh, knight C6 is really nice here, but bishop F3, as we saw this last time, after rook B8, knight C6 here. And this is at least winning the... Oh, well, I'll take a free piece here any day. Ooh, this is even worse, because after knight B5 here... Oh my gosh, knight to D6... Yeah, this is quite terrible for them. This queen was not going anywhere good. And it's the queen. The queen's almost trapped here too. If I think the only good square is the queen to A6, bishop E2, and then is the queen trapped there? No. Oh, well, they're doing a queen sacrifice here for whatever reason. Okay, well, and look, that gave me some extra points, which should clench it or clutch it. That well, I'm just gonna be winning here. Oh man. That is crazy. And I'm going to go ahead and go on pause here, as even if I did start a game, I wouldn't be able to finish in time anyways. So I'll just go ahead and check out the game until then. But wow, that was pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and check out our first place player here. Man, they were doing so well. So they only had one loss, which was to this guy over here. What happened in this game? Here, he was playing the white side of it. And yet, like I said, this is all pretty much main line, knight to G5. Wow, and this person knows the theory very well. And I would expect that with just a very great thing. I mean, look at this. This is a perfect pawn structure to attack with. And, yeah, oh man, yeah. These positions I live for. Knight E4, pawn G4. Oh my gosh, queen to... Oh, I like queen to G3 in these variations, but queen F2 is also a way to play it. Oh man, knight F6 check is great here. Knight takes G5 is in the air, bishop C2. White just has all the extra space here. They went this way, bishop E3. Wow, the fact that they didn't win this is very surprising to me. But I assume, just like me, they probably got a little low on time. Oh, and they made a bad trade here because, yeah, they're berserking here. But man, they're doing a great job. It looks like they're just going to convert pretty easily here. What happened? I mean, look at this position. Knights are tricky. Wait a second, are they not up an extra piece here? Yeah, they're not up an extra piece, so things are a little bit tricky. And here, oh, yeah, things just start to fall apart. And this is technically a draw, but with 8 seconds versus the 28, I'm sure he just lost on time over there. And 4 seconds late, 4 seconds left. Here we go. Woohoo! Excuse me. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out. And this one, in like Alekhine's defense, we didn't get our first place, but we did do a good job and get second place here. I was getting very good positions out the opening, but unfortunately was not able to convert fast enough. Or maybe I just really had strong opponents here. But hopefully I learned a little with this. In Alekhine's defense, I played the G6 variations with C takes on D6, which goes ahead and messes up the pawn chain, so that's not the same as theirs. That's why I kept doing it. And then also with white, I just kept playing pawn c4. Not too much theory there, just extra space and slowly push forward. Typically on the queen side, not too much king side attacks, as well on the queen side you just have a lot of extra space there that you can convert to advantages, which advantages lead to wins. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you in the next one.